I have the power. Did I get your attention now? What's going on, guys? Scott with KC Blade Drip. Coming at you with a new video. We're going to talk about a knife, what we all like, love, enjoy, cutting, scraping, digging, gouging, slice, dice, everything that you could imagine. We got a knife coming at you. This today, and by the way, please give me a follow. I'm not going to get on my knees and beg, but I'd like you to follow me on Instagram, KC Blade Drip. Subscribe, like my video. And we've got new content that I'm going to keep bringing you. Some of my stuff that I'll review, use, come at you with. It may be older styles, models, random things that I have in my collection. Not always just going to get brand new knives when they come out. I don't know. I kind of like talking about different types of stuff. So had this kind of on the plate, wanted to bring it to you. So we're going to talk about a neck knife. I guess technically this is going to be it is a fixed blade. It's going to be my first one, I think, that I'm going to be discussing. So we're taking another step. You know, we start out, we're progressing. So here we go. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right. The reason why I started out with the whole power thing is this knife that I'm going to talk about today is got its name. It's the Skeletor. And anybody that was big in the 80s as a child would probably have to know who He-Man and the Masters of the Universe were, and Skeletor. In fact, they have new Masters of the Universe series by Kevin Smith that's on Netflix, which is it's pretty good. I'm a big fan. So it's called the Skeletor. Now, every knife has a story, so I'm going to try to do my best. I don't have like a computer or iPad or anything where I'm just rattling stats to you. I'm going to try to tell you the story of this knife. I don't know how popular it is now or how many people may be familiar with it. This knife actually came out probably, I'm guessing now off recollection, probably 5 to 6 years ago. This is 2022, so I would say probably about 20, man, I'm guessing, but maybe 2016, 2015. It's a neck knife. It's called, or named the Skeletor. This was manufactured and made by a company called Quartermaster. Quartermaster allegedly was, I believe, out of Dripping Springs, Texas. Now, I'm not going to get into, they don't have a great type of, they're not known very well as far as being a reputable, great, outstanding company. I'm not getting into because there was a lot of controversies. Not getting into that, just talking about the knife. I like this knife because when I got it, I liked the designs. Some of them were out there, trippy, kind of unorthodox. So they came out with different knives. They would often name them after either TV shows, the Hannibal, they had a lot of different kind of quirky names. They had a Q series where you would actually pay a certain amount of money and get knives in the collection. They ran things, I guess, off of like 1 to 300, and then you'd buy them when they released them, and etc. Different types of colors, finishes, things of that nature. And they said or claimed that they were made in America. Whereas at this time, we know they weren't. So I don't really give a crap. I just want to be able to look at the knife and see if it worked and how good the knife was itself. So that's a little bit kind of the story of this particular knife and the company that manufactured it, called Quartermaster. I think Jared was the name of the guy that started that company. His dad actually owns Mantis Knives, which they're not known to be like the best knives, but it's a company. They put out knives. So I respect that. I respect anyone that puts work into crafting or doing things. for other people. So it's pretty much a selfless act. So this particular knife here, again, it's called the Skeletor. It was by Quartermaster. This is a neck knife. The actual designer, let's pull it out, was Austin Weiss. W-E-I-S-S. Austin, he lives in Texas. He's into various different types of things. I don't know if he is just a collaborator. Well, he does more than knives, but he was involved for a little while with some of the different things of this particular company. And in this case, this knife particular, I guess he designed it. This one is a number 260 of 300. You see his name there on it, and then the Quartermaster logo. So they were, it's imprinted here. This is the Stonewash, which was the original release. They did make like a limo tint and a couple of other, I think a couple of different colorways that came out. And so again, this is the Stonewashed. It came originally with a little certificate of authenticity. It was a little card, and it came with in a box, and I mean, it was packaged well. I don't have that stuff. Back at the time when I got this, and this is when I was first kind of really exploring my own story of getting in my direction I was going to take with knives. And I didn't keep the boxes on stuff. You know, I wore this. I wore this knife for, I don't know, I would say 2 or 3 months. And occasionally I will still put this on because it has a nice little Kydex sheath, as you can see here. And it's got this chain that came with it, which is really nice. And the knife itself fits in very well, as you see. Clicks in. I mean, it's not moving, shaking. It's not going to fall out. So when you have this around your neck, it dangles. You can tuck it right in your shirt, outside your shirt if you want to, if you want easier access. And then while it's hanging, you can grab hold, I put my thumb here and just pull it straight out. Okay. The knife itself is basically it's one piece. So it's all one piece of steel. There's no moving parts. It's very simple. There's no welds or any type of, splits, cracks. I mean, it's just one piece of steel. It is skeletonized through the handle here. And then you got kind of a cool design here, which cuts down on the weight for you, so it's not, not as heavy. You got jimping on the tail right here. You got some jimping up here on the top of the knife, which when you lock into it and you pull it out, right here you can see that's for your index finger here. So you can just lock in. The rest of your fingers will wrap around. And then this will naturally go on the top of the spine here, or the top of the knife. And that way you can do your cutting. It's got a nice, I guess you'd consider it like a drop point. But you're pretty good at, doing some slicing. It does have a sharp tip. So as far as, jabbing, sticking, thrusting. It's a smaller knife. This knife here, let's see what it weighs. We've got this coming in at 1.9 ounces. So this is light, very lightweight. Well, and you've got it around your neck. Now you couldn't take the chain out of this and you could have it in the sheath and you could drop it in your pocket. Sometimes with a small fixed blade, and I still have to do another type show and tell review about another fixed blade that I'm not a fan of because of the sheath. But these small knives like this, I like being able to sometimes sheathe them and just drop them in my pocket. Now, I think there's some, I think there's some disputing what type of steel this is. So I'm not even going to get into it. It's not marked on here. And when they actually manufactured these knives, I think they claimed that they were one thing, and then there was some disputing that, you know, no, it wasn't that type of steel. Or I can say this is a good steel. I don't know exactly. I don't know if it's M390. I doubt that, but I don't really know. And I'm just talking about the knife itself. It looks great. I don't know if you can buy these now because it's been a few years. And Quartermaster, I think it was 2 to 3 years ago, ended up basically just shutting down. They don't manufacture knives anymore, and there may be on eBay or on some websites, they may sell different knives made by Quartermaster. I don't currently buy any. This is just one that is in my collection. And so I'm letting you look at it. It feels good in the hand. It's really good for just small tasks and to just have, you know, a small knife on you all the time. Again, you know, you've got jimping 1, 2 places. Now let's turn it around here. Okay, let's put our finger here. It's kind of small for that. I mean, it's shaped that way, but look at my fingers, how they're crowded on here. That's what she said when I was grabbing it like that. So it is kind of tight to do that, and it disappears in my hand. So that's, I guess you could, but it's not really, I mean, it's not secure like that. I wouldn't be using this for fighting, guys. In fact, I think most people that have knives, the last thing you ever want to do is fight with a knife. I think that's pretty silly. I would run because I don't want to hurt anybody, to be honest, unless my life is just literally threatened, like I'm going to die. But I like the knives for the utilitarian purposes, for cutting and just when you're out and about, if you need to open things or just do things, or like this, I love talking about them. So, but you know, for even pulling it out and jabbing something or cutting something, it's, I mean, to hold it in your hand and being a small knife, this is a really cool knife. So I think when you're holding this, you could raise it and you could shout, "I have the power." I think you do have the power when you're holding this little booger. It's good for a neck knife. I've seen a lot of different neck knives, and I'll tell you, it takes a lot for me to want to put one around my neck because I wear a chain or jewelry and stuff, and so to put something around my neck, I want it to be lighter, I want it to be functional, and I want it to look good. This is sharp too. I have not sharpened it, but I haven't used this a ton, but it's still, the edge on here is pretty good. It's still sharp. So that's good. That's good. I'm not sure how much this cost when I bought it. I am not sure the price on this. I think these little holes here, they had it where you could put a set of scales on here and you could have something in scales. I am almost positive that that's what those were for. Those holes here. There would be no other real purpose for those. So, again, it's a pretty knife, guys. I'm glad that you checked it out, at least listened to me talk about it a little bit. I really appreciate it. It's fun. And I swear, I promise you that as we keep going through our little journey in life, and I tell you each knife and about its story and these kind of exotic type things that are older, newer, random pieces, you're going to get used to my voice more and more, that you hear me talk and ramble about this stuff. And before you know it, God, it's scary, but you may start looking forward to my next videos. Imagine that. Can we get an amen? I'll tell you. There we go, Austin Weiss. Thanks, buddy. You did a good job, at least on the collaboration and the design on this with Quartermaster. So you did a good job on this little knife. I'll keep it in my collection. And I appreciate, again, you guys taking a look. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to keep on throwing that at you. KC Blade Drip, that's where we're at here. And I'm going to be coming out with another video here this week. I'm kind of plowing through some of this stuff. So have a great day and a great weekend. Thank you.